Hi, Mr. Jim. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. So I'm Sabrina, as you know, and this is Mr. Jim. Mr. Jim works at the Black Cultural Center here in Brook, Nova Scotia. Mr. Jim, I have a major question for you. Tell me how Nova Scotians know where each other is from. So if I give you a name, how do they know how they're all related and connected?
Well, the name is by the community, what community they live in. But how the name's connected because it's from families. Families live in one community. Then sometimes the family moves to a different community. But just the name is the same. The people are the same. But they are the same, just that they have moved away. They probably want a better job, so they move to a community. Or they want to live in a different place, so they move to the community. But then you mention the names, generally, you end up, the person you're talking to could be your first cousin, could be your second cousin.
And you don't know because you moved to different communities.
Yeah, well, see, and you move, but generally it's the parents that moved from a different place. And they go to a different place. Like Halifax, some people leave from North Preston, they go to Halifax. Some leave East Preston, go to Toronto. Some leave Brook, go to Dartmouth. And then, plus, the families intermarry. And that's how the husband or wife, the man or the woman gets married, they leave their community, move to the husband community. Or the husband leaves his community, moves to the wife community. Then, in the end, you're talking to him, and you say the last name. You say who you're from, who you are, what's your name.
So let me give you an example. If I say my last name is Ross, there's something in your brain that says Rosses live in Halifax or East Preston.
No, I would say East Preston.
Ah, so your first thought would be East Preston.
Because the only Rosses I knew live in East Preston.
And then it's possible that the East Preston Rosses went to Halifax.
Halifax or some other place. But then you may say, okay, let's say, you may say Downey. Downey's in North Preston, but you got Downey's in Halifax. But it's still a Downey. But they left in North Preston and they moved to Halifax.
Right.
As they was young, and they stayed there.
So tell me something about like these founding families. You said there's 5 big families in Nova Scotia, like our ancestors, and all of our names come from those families.
Yeah, well, you may start off with Grants. Let's say I'll use Grants. Now, from the Grants, there come the Downeys. There come the Bealeses. And they come the Simmonses. Because they all interact. Like their mother has a daughter. So the daughter gets married. Her name becomes a Beales. Another daughter gets married. Her name becomes a Williams or a King. So then when you get together, you find out my grandmother was a Grant. So when you got Williams, Grant, Downeys.
Right, from the one mother.
From the one family.
So then the naming system is really from the women, from the moms, because they marry somebody, but if they have girl children, then that's how the names accumulate.
That's how it accumulates. And so that one family may produce a whole bunch
of different names.
Of ancestors, of people, of children, of cousins, of grandchildren, because that name keeps on being passed on. Like a seed. You get a seed, you plant that seed grows another seed. That's how it is. And it keeps growing and stretching.
Okay, so just to get this straight, because I'm new to this stuff, Mr. Jim. The first way we know where we're from is geographically. So every place in Nova Scotia where there was a Black community, that's where like the name started. But then when we gather more names, it's because of the intermarriages. Is that right?
Yeah, well, intermarriages, well, let's say from most time the men from North Preston or the women from North Preston were married to men and women from East Preston. Vice versa. The East Preston women or men were married to women and men from North Preston. Vice versa. People may marry and they may go to Halifax. But they still, when you break down the talk to them, look at the last name, they're all from the same man.
They're all from and the same geographical location.
But then, and when you have a reunion, then you see all the family that comes in. It's so many of them that, but when it breaks down to it, it's the one main mother.
One of those founding names, whether it's Grant,
Smith, Johnson, Beals, Williams, is one of those names that's responsible for all.
Wow. So one family can start, but then marriage and geography is what spreads them out.
Is what spreads them out. And it keeps going on. Now, my father was a Williams, but he also was a Taylor. His mother was a Taylor.
So you have Williams and Taylor.
And Grants and Downey.
So it's possible that every Scotian carries more than 3 or 4 names because we carry the generation of our names.
Yeah.
But we just don't know.
Right. Now you go to Toronto, you may find somebody named Williams. You ask them, who's your daddy? They say Jim Williams. And I do have children in Ontario. So you see, they must say my father Jim Williams or Roland Williams. You say, but he lives in Nova Scotia. Yeah, but I grew up in Ontario. So you see, the difference.
So who taught you that? It's your mom.
Yeah, Mom. But I think for me, just being curious about things and wanting to learn. See, I always want to learn anything. I have very bad curiosity. And I might get something in mind here. I have to keep on going until I find out where it's going to end.
Like the root.
Yeah, I have to get to the root. And sometimes some of my ancestors died before I get to it. Now, like my grandfather on my father's side, I knew his name was Peter. And his son was Peter James. But now I knew my grandfather, but I never knew my great-grandfather. You see?
Yeah.
But he was a Williams now. So you see, like, you're curious and you want to find out where they come from. And I finally eventually found out that my grandfather came from Africa. Right? And now how he got over here, I don't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But you say that to a certain level, all Afro-Nova Scotians have this skill a little bit?
No. No, because all Nova Scotians don't have, because all Nova Scotians don't want to have. See, sometimes people, I think, are afraid to, I guess, really want to know where they come from. And that to me is deprivation of your life. Because why wouldn't you want to know where your family was originally started from? I mean, that's what, to me, the best part of life, is to find out where your family came from to see where you are today.
Yeah.
But most Nova Scotians don't want to believe that they're Africans. See, there really are no true Nova Scotians.
I agree.
Okay? But a lot of people think that they are true Nova Scotians because they were born in Canada. Yeah, okay, maybe you were born in Canada, but Canada wasn't founded by a Nova Scotian.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it wasn't.
The Costa, yeah.
Canada wasn't founded by Nova Scotia. It was founded by that Costa.
The Costa Matthew.
And Preston got the name from Richard Preston.
Mm.
See, Preston was just where people lived. They never had no name for it. It was just a place that people lived. Richard Preston came here to find his mother. And when he found his mother, he named the place where he found his mother Preston. So you see, but a lot of people they have this fear of realizing that every person in this world was born in Africa.
Say it again.
Africa was the only country in the world. There was no other country but Africa. But a lot of people don't want to hear that. They think the world was born separately. The world was born. There was only one country born, and that was Africa. If you look at that map out there, you see how big Africa is, and you see how big the rest of the countries are. But you have to want to know. See, I have this appetite. When I get curious about something, boy, I'm like a dog under the bone. I got to find out where it's going to take me, where it's going to end. Because I guess it's just wanting to have knowledge.
So there's like a group of you that carry that knowledge then.
Oh, I guess so. I don't look at me.
No, we have a word for it. It's an African word called griots.
Griots.
And griots are traditional African storytellers. They're wisdom holders.
Yes.
And they hold that knowledge and they pass it on.
You try to, yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm collecting griots. So you are a living griot. And this is what our people did in Africa.
Yeah.
Right? So you are a griot.
You see, this is what I do. I like my children, right? Don't let my children make me laugh. If I'm, she tell them something, like, uh-oh, let the daddy gonna tell a story.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
But no, it's not that we want to tell a story. But in order to make the point that I'm trying to make, it's a story that goes with it. And if you can't tell a story, then you can't make the point. See, and that's how I look at it. I mean, I don't know where I got it from. I guess just listening to old people.
But that's also part of our culture in Africa. We tell stories.
Yeah. But the stories always is something that you have done and that you do that you'd like to do. It's not something that someone told you to do. It's something that you will learn for your own self. This is all from you. And what I know is from me. I didn't like really love someone else. I mean, I tried to get as much as I could, but you only get so much. But I don't mind telling. I don't see life. I look at life as a big, big joy. And so, but I mean, it's not always joy. There's sadness in your life, but I look at life as a joy. It's a joy to be, like I said, I'm 76. It's a joy to be 76 years old. I mean, people say, wow, you're old. Yeah, old in age, but I'm not old, I'm aging. I'm not old. I'm aging. But I enjoy, like, working here. Like some people say, you still working? I say, yeah, I'm still working. We actually had the Black Culture Center. You still working? Yeah. Because I don't feel like 76. I feel much younger. I mean, there are days I feel like 106.
Hey.
But yeah, there's some days I feel like 26. It's just how, I guess you want to look after your body. I guess you want to look after yourself. That's how you look after yourself through the years. You know, if you have dug yourself around through the years, you will never make anything. You can't be dug around because the body only takes so much of abuse, and then your body will break down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have one last question for you. Knowing all of this about our people, what has it brought to your life?
Joy. Because knowing that where my ancestors came from and what they were and how they were treated, it brought joy. Because then I look at it to what I am. So I says, well, look why I am today because of them. So it's brought joy. I mean, I have a good life. I don't have a perfect life. I ain't no rich man, but I have a good life. I have a beautiful wife. And I have all my beautiful children. And I get all my grandchildren. I just love them all. But I love them all separately. Mm-hmm. They all got a little part of their own self. Mm-hmm. And I got one little grandson. He's my youngest grandson. And he saw it. I look at him, and he saw the images of me I see in him as I was a little boy. And of all my grandchildren, sons, especially grandchildren, of him, he's the only one that makes, I look at him, he looks like me at a very, very young age. Now, I don't know how I was at that age, but that's what he reminds me of. But I love him. I see, you just got to love life for it is. Like I said, I have a beautiful wife. We're married 33 years this year. Be 33 years.
Beautiful. So out of your children and your grandchildren, are there any future griots in there?
I think my son, my last son, my younger son, I think he may be a storyteller. If you ask him something, he already used to like me. You ask him something and just sit there and get ready, because he's gonna tell you something. Yeah. He's gonna tell you how he got from what you asked him to where he is now. So I guess he's like, man, I just like.
And we need them, right, to keep our
But-
knowledge alive.
But you do, because then you look at it and you say, son, you're a lot like me. You might not look exactly like me, but you're a lot like me. And he is a lot like me in a lot of ways.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Jim. You
Okay.
made my day.
But this is good. I'm glad.
Yeah. That you can